bring this to the black on black love.
Yeah.
As you know, black people are the last to marry and the first to divorce. And the black woman is the last to get married and the first to get divorced. Right? Now, because we are the most traumatized community, that trauma automatically affects our relationships. You can't talk about healthy black male female love if you don't talk about black on black community dysfunction.
Right.
Why would the family be functional if no other institution is?
Right.
You see that? Don't divorce the family from everything else we got going in the community, which is dysfunctional. Now, too often, Nick, from a psychological perspective, we go into relationships looking to fulfill needs that our parents never did.
Right.
So the relationship is a means to an end of getting something you never got.
Right.
And the main things we're looking for from our opposite partner, we're looking for intimacy and love. We're looking for availability and presence. We're looking for trust and dependency. And we're looking for reciprocity and the ability to share. Those are 4 things you needed from your mother, 4 things you needed from your father. If you got both, you can love and you can leave. If you didn't get both, you might be unstable, insecure, and unstable in certain areas.
That's powerful. That's more powerful than the 5 love languages.
You see?
You need to coin that and write a book on that
And
one.
on top of that, Brother Nick, what the opposite gender parent did to you or didn't do matters most. See, my father could have been present. My father and I could have been intimate father-son, healthy. My father could have been trustworthy. We could have been able to share and exchange. But what if I couldn't do it with my mom?
Didn't get any of those.
Do you see that?
Right.
I'm going to look for a woman to do for me what my mother could not. You ever been in a relationship with a woman where you felt like you was more than a husband? You had to be the father too. See that? That's where that comes from, Nick. She had an unmet need. Daddy didn't do it. So now I need Nick to do this. And you weighing on me too much because I'm your king.
Yeah.
But now you want me to be your dad. I didn't sign
Nick
up for
needs to
both
shoot.
roles.
Right.
And you draining me.
Yeah.
I love you, but you draining me. If you don't pull back off this father role, I might got to leave this relationship because in essence, what you have become to me is a spiritual vampire. What is a spiritual vampire, Nick? A spiritual vampire is a psychologically, emotionally unhealthy African floating around the community looking for somebody to heal illnesses and injuries to their soul that only their parents can fix.
Wow.
Emotional vampires think that if I find the right man, if I find the right woman, he can heal me. No, he can't. That damage was done by your family of origin and it got to be repaired there. You ever watch one of those old horror movies, Freddy Krueger, Jason or something, and they want to finally kill Jason or Freddy.
Right.
And the person comes and tell them, you got to go back to where they was born. You got to go back to the beginning.
Right.
The same thing is in relationships.
The origin story.
The same thing is.
Let's go ahead. Black people are the last to get married, the first to divorce. Who haven't spoken yet? Want to get to you guys first.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go in. I'll jump in. Whew. All right, that's a lot to hit on. First, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna start with like the kids first, and I'm gonna jump to the relationships. First, I shout out to Dr. Umar. I've done some panels with him before in the past. He's really great, especially when it comes to child psychology and what's going on in the schools and whatnot. I think he's phenomenal in that aspect. I know people give him a hard time in other aspects, but I think he really knows his stuff. So, with the numbers of the young ladies, like teenage Black girls and whatnot, deleting themselves, it is scary. It's super scary, simply because of the fact of, I agree with a lot what Shan said. Social media was built for women, with women in mind, when it comes to the scrolling, when it comes to the advertisements, when it comes to selling products and whatnot. Right now, I don't know if everybody realizes this or not, but Black women are the #1 consumers in America right now. Black women have passed up white women as the #1 consumers in this country. That means they spend more money than anybody else. They spend more money than anybody else on products and services, in restaurants. They are the number one demographic to advertise to. I don't know if you guys notice this or not, or people at home notice this or not, but if you notice that more than ever, you see Black women in advertisements. I mean, on commercials, more than you ever seen in history. It's not because of Black girl magic. It's because Black women are spending that cheese. That's why. That's why. That is because that demographic is the most susceptible to spend money emotionally because of what type of day they might have had that day. They had a great day, they want to celebrate. They had a bad day. Oh, I need to spend some so I feel better. You know, because of getting together with their friends for brunch, trying that new brunch place, or getting some mimosas, or getting something to drink. The demographic of Black women and drinking has gone up tremendously. I mean, a lot of women are drinking like our fathers did or our grandfathers did. I mean, when it comes to wine sales, um, when it comes to champagne sales, and when it comes to hard liquor, more than ever before. Now, one might say there's more problems nowadays, but come on, we're not. Last I checked, folks aren't getting their ass cheeks bit by German shepherds and not getting hosed down by the fire department. I mean, it's a different kind of problem, you know. So, but yeah, social media was made for women. It had women in mind when they created it, and when you have young female minds that are looking through it, especially young female minds that are going through hormonal changes, that, you know, aren't fully aware of who they are and have a strong knowledge of self, that are confused a lot of the times, that are hyper emotional because of their hormones and what's changing in their bodies because they are teenagers, and doesn't have the same value for life yet because they just haven't grown up and matured yet. And, you know, kind of like what they were saying, some of the absent fatherness going on in a lot of these households, because men and fathers are what help give you that identity. They pour that identity into their children. They let you know exactly who you are, where you come from, and give you that strength and that strong sense of pride of who you are and how you should value yourself and how you should move forward in life and how you should carry yourself. I'm sure there's been a lot of single moms out there that have done a good job with their sons or done a good job with their daughters in the past. But at the end of the day, that male essence has to be, you know, either in the household or orbiting that household, whether it's a father, grandfather, uncle, older brother, somebody that, like Dr. Umar said, that loves them in spite of what's in between their legs, because that is paramount. I mean, I don't know who mentioned it earlier, but you talk about young girls that, you know, was in the bathroom because maybe they were bullied, or, you know, their emotions are kind of all over the place, or their boyfriend broke up with them. Searching for that love, searching for that self-worth, you know, externally is dangerous and it's scary. And if you're searching for it online too, that just can lead to a whole nother dark place. So yes, we need to be in there with our daughters. We need to be there for our young ladies. We need that. They need it. We need it, and that will make our community a lot stronger. The next piece, Dr. Umar was talking about what he calls spiritual vampires. I mean, I don't know where you guys are from. Where I'm from, we call them succubuses. The succubus energy, a woman that comes in and drains you, emotionally, physically, emotionally, all the above, um, is not a great thing at all, because you literally have nothing left in the tank for them. You have nothing left in the tank left for yourself, and you're no good to anybody else, because they have literally monopolized all of your energy, all of your mental energy, all of your emotional energy, all of your sexual energy, all of the above. And you're no good to anybody after that, because you just honestly, you want to get away. because you have to recharge. You have to get your Kundalini energy. You have to get all that stuff back. You got to get your spiritual energy back. You got to get back in alignment because, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm sure there's some guys on the panel that have ran into women in their past that, you know, needed a father figure. And you were not only her man, you were not only dating her, but you were also a father figure to her. You were like her daddy. I mean, and I don't know, is it because of, you know, my energy or my voice, whatever, but I've gotten that. I've gotten that. I've definitely dated women who needed a dad, a father figure, and I was daddy and I was their man. And that's a lot to ask for. Just because of just the state that our community is in. I mean, you got a lot of young ladies that didn't have a dad, that didn't have father figures around and whatnot. So, fellas, just be weary of that. Know what you want, but at the same time, we got to find a way to overcome a lot of these issues. We have to find a way. You got to go for. You got to find what's mentally, emotionally healthy for you at the end of the day. You know, everybody doesn't have to have every single box checked that you're dating, who you're dealing with, but find somebody that checks the boxes that work best for you. And we have to come to the table and we have to address our issues. Whatever issues they are, we got to figure that shit out and work on them because it's not their job to do it. Everyone's got something going on with them, but we got to do our best to figure out what that something is and figure out what we need from our partners so that we can have a better situation. Because if we're always the last ones getting married and the first ones to divorce, I mean, our divorce rate is already over with 80 percentile. You know, Black women file for divorce on Black men for at 80 percentile at this point. You know, so we got 79%. It's around there. It's bad. It's bad. I mean, there's no 50-50 there. So we got to find a way to get along, love each other, and figure out what we really need from each other at the end of the day. So I'm gonna land it there.
So have we figured that out? Like, I get we keep saying the father need to be in the house, and I even made content on that, on the importance of it, the statistics around it. I mean, we just be beating this dead dog, but like, even if the father is in the house and the relationship, I mean, the kid has a chance, but the relationship fails, then there's another layer. You get what I'm saying? There's a layer underneath the father being there. Like, cause okay, now the man and woman can't even get along to stay in the household in the get-go. So now I think it's time to try to poke at that layer.
So are you saying more so look at the dynamic of the relationships between the mother and the father, aside from the relationship with the father and the child? Because I mean, a lot of the issues that we're speaking on has to do with the father not being present at all, or them not knowing the father, or them not having the relationship and the knowledge of what the father brings in order for them to be a complete person.
Right. So then we would all agree that the issue starts before the father leaves the household. There's something going on in that household, in that relationship between that man and that woman that we just cannot put our finger on. We can't paint it with a broad brush because then they call us putting everybody in a box. But if it's happening at a high rate and it's common, the common denominator is our people. It's something it's something somewhere. There's an intersection that we can look
There's
at.
something going on. There's something going on within the culture. There's something going on within the culture, like you know, that's moving, you know, at the speed of light. There's something that is going on with groupthink. There's something going on with trends. There's something going on with lifestyles that people think they want to live, or you know, fantasy lands, Disney type of fantasies that certain people think, mostly women, that want to live, or the idealistic that they have in their head that may not come to fruition. And if they're okay with living a life that's just not exactly what they dreamed about or fantasized about per se.